Dear guests, we are happy to welcome you. We start our session that is about a very relevant topic against the current backdrop, the introduction of artificial intelligence in creative industries and education. So today our speakers will talk about some main issues and developments that are already at our hand in this industry. And of course we'll discuss whether the artificial intelligence will replace an individual. So I'll start and then I will give the floor to our speakers. I would like to mention some main issues that are relevant in this industry. So today we are talking about the developments that are either in the pilot stage or in the industrial production stage. So the main aspect that we paid attention to when we were developing our approach towards digitalization. Here we're talking about digitalization as it is. So this will help us to study the cultural values and create the new ones. And here we can't do without AI. This is an assistive technology for us. Also, we'll talk about the preservation and forwarding of our heritage, and of course, we'll talk about the accounting system. So we imagined a person who thinks about what he wants to do, where he wants to go. What's interesting for this person? And how to enable this person to understand some cultural institution in a short period of time. We have an interactive multimedia complex, Sharik Clubs. This is to create our national performances and plays that are not on the stage in our theater anymore. But when one visits this club, one can see those performances. And what's important is that our children can also see the national cultural heritage with their own eyes. And the multimedia aspect is very convenient for the young generation. And to teach our children to also enjoy going to the theaters, real theaters, we also stage some plays based on the retrospective performances that are not played in the theater, Kamal Theater anymore. Next one, virtual journey around Kazan. Here we combine the pictures that illustrate Kazan many years ago, and we combine it with the present contemporary pictures. And anybody can just take this virtual tour and walk around the old Kazan city and assess whether Kazan has changed a lot or not. This is also for the educational purpose, because within this tour, one can learn about the location in Kazan, some location in Kazan. And so here we use VR technology as well as AR. We've integrated this technology into our project. And now we'll talk about creative industries. Our young generation wants to and dreams about getting a creative profession in the field of creative industries, but they don't know whether they like it or not, whether it's their thing or not. We have a School of Creative Industries. It's been working for 2 years. It's a federal project that is rolled around whole Russia, and in our republic, we have 3 schools like this. And our curriculum lasts for 2 years, so a young person can get familiarized with some profession that they will either choose or not choose in the future. What's most important that within this School of Creative Industries, they can also expand their mindset. As we know today, our young generations have clip processing of information, and here we actually teach our children about some complex solutions that one cannot get just from a ready library of solutions. And we also have a special platform, a resource. On this platform, one can see what we have in the ethnic and cultural heritage of our region. To be more precise, it's a map with different sightseeings and cultural heritage monuments. And so here we also explain how we'd like to develop this territory further. Anybody who is interested can go to this place and learn about the work that is done and labor that is done in this region. So currently we have 186 venues like this registered, but we continue to add the new ones to the list. And as we said before, to become fully familiarized with the culture, one needs to also take something physical. But in our case, it's an online souvenir. So one can just press a button and get an online souvenir. Here we are choosing an authentic product from the library that we have at our disposal. There are some national souvenirs in this library on our platform, and one can just connect to the seller or producer of these things and can buy it. And on top of this, we also have a specific service for those who actually make those things, for the masters, creators. We also have a support system in our project. It just takes one click to make it all convenient. In addition to the convenience, we are also creating a database of those masters and artisans that we have in our territory. And so this AI system, which is called Cultural Tatarstan, accumulates all the services that I've already listed before. Within this service, we also build a product. So we don't only add what is available, but based on the footprint that a person leaves on our platform, we can suggest something else. As to the prospects of implementation, well, we only started recently, and we do hope that by 2030, this system will become a full-fledged system with all the features and functions that one might need. Thank you very much for your attention. And now I would like to give the floor to Vadim Bulgakov, the head of the AI laboratory at the School of Design at HEC, High School of Economics. Yes, hello, thank you. First, I'll offer some introductory words, and then I'll give the floor to my colleagues. So I would like to briefly say what our lab does. We are working with the AI application in creative industries. We also do the training because we are based under the auspices of a university. And partially what's connected to some local cultures. We see it not only in this region, but we see it in many big cities and national republics. They have their ethnic and cultural specificities, and there is a problem of the shortage of staff, of people. This problem persists, and actually it is only being aggravated because of some economic parameters. And to some extent, it leads to the situation when the local culture fades away. So there is less local culture in the republics. But there is still demand locally, demand to preserve the local culture and to continue developing this. And with the help of AI, we can compensate for the shortage of people or the shortage of some skills. This is very handy, and it's a great potential for some local markets in the republics in Russia. So first, we'll talk about how we train to work with AI. We have Stanislav Milovidov here, my colleague, who is the senior professor at the Faculty of Creative Industries and the Institute of Media. First, I'll give the floor to him. Yes, hello. It's not a secret that the AI technologies, I use such a term because it's widely spread. So like ML technologies and generative technologies, they became visible for a wide audience in the second half of 2022. Now 2 years have passed, and our lab at the School of Design, our AI lab, has accumulated some experience. And based on this, we built some training programs. Those programs help university students to use different applications to address their practice-oriented tasks that they're facing while they're studying. Well, it started with the graphic elements, with generative pictures, then the generative text models appeared. Now the 3D generative models are also appearing. There is also generative programming or coding. So some models can actually write or generate a code. And some big players in the market are now advertising different video generating models, such as Full HD, 4K, etc. And I guess the upcoming winter there might be a breakthrough in this field. All of this allows us to see the full cycle of our training programs, because those programs were in operation already for 1 year. And so we can see what AI can bring to the educational process. So my first talking point will be as follows. Most of the student projects that I see now in creative industries and in the School of Design, in the Media Institute, they are implemented with the AI-based tools. Many of them wouldn't even be possible without these technologies. Because when a university student wanted to create some comics in the past, or wanted to create some identics or 3D models, for a digital project, this student would need an artist, a person who would draw all of these comics. Well, either it was done just pro bono, or because somebody had some friends at other faculties, friends artists, and this could slow down the project process for the student, or it even might have required some financial investment from the student. And usually such a student would just choose something easier for the project. But now, thanks to generative models, such projects became available. Because with prompt engineering, a student can generate their own image, even can write their own code. This is one of the examples. It's a project. It's an art project for an exhibition. It was done in cooperation with the biological faculty. This is to develop the cutting-edge methods of gene therapy. The task was to popularize the results of such research, to make it visible for a wide audience, and also to attract some attention to them. And so the task was to actually give a voice to the DNA chain. And there was no ready solution how one could do this. There could be some hypothesis, but there was no ready solution for this. And we went to a generative model, in particular ChatGPT, and we asked it how to convert a classical music system consisting of 7 notes and some tones. In DNA, there are 4 nucleotides, and how to convert this musical system into the DNA system. And ChatGPT suggested a system how we could do this, how we could convert the musical system into the genetics system. Later, with the same generative algorithm, we got some options how to implement it technically. I mean, what libraries to use, what coding language to use, how to actually write a code that would synthesize some sound for our purposes. For example, if we enter some combinations of parameters, and then the algorithm and the system would voice all of this. And in the end, we got the real code. Later, we actually exhibited it in HSC at one of the exhibitions, and later we participated in another exhibition with this project. So those were the already working prototypes. Later we finalized them even more. So we've created later the design, how this all can be visualized at exhibitions, for example, but we already had the hard code in place. So here you can see the example of our code. And what's important here is the following. When I got this code and I went to the IT professionals who are very good at coding, first, the advantage of a generative algorithm is that the algorithm can explain what is just done. So it's not that you just get the result, but you also get the explanations. Here, with the green color, you see the explanations from the algorithm. Even if the algorithm hasn't done it yet, you can still ask it to explain which block of code is responsible for what element, for what function. And in the beginning, you see a whole list of libraries that are added here, and quite a lot of them are quite complicated, even for a professional coder who works with code. So there are some technical solutions that are sophisticated, and we would lack knowledge if we didn't have this algorithm, and the algorithm helped us a lot here. And so both the students and the teachers, the professors, when they worked with the generative algorithm, got an assistant, and this assistant was a kind of an encyclopedia. So it's a good search engine, basically. And we send a request, and then we get some knowledge as a response, the knowledge that we are lacking. And to get this knowledge without this algorithm, we would spend a lot of time. And now we can just send one prompt. So that's how we take out some routine tasks from our student projects. So, for example, our students don't need now to go to the library as they did 50 years ago. A student doesn't have to spend an immense amount of time, read many books and find the answer to the question. Quite often, actually, it just demotivated the student, because quite often this search was fruitless. And this just, the student ended up in abandoning the task rather than continuing to implement this task. And for creative industries, it's very important that when one gets an MVP, it's a great motivation for a student to move forward. And in our master's programs, we can see it quite clearly. Our first-year master students have such a task as the design and creation of a book. And we do understand that when a student starts from a draft design and ends up with having this book at some platforms where now literature can be read and published, this is a great motivator for the student. This gives the student the impetus to continue creating some projects, and generative models enable our students to make those projects more diverse and different. A student can create video games, comics, different tasks that one couldn't address before because of the lack of some additional competencies such as drawing or coding or something else. So in the past, such a student would need to run some routine tasks and drill their skills before they could start to draft a project that they would like to bring about. So it's another important talking point of mine today. Generative models boost media art, because today media art is really dependent on technologies. If we take a look at how it's developing, then we'll see that it's intertwined with some cutting-edge technologies, etc. So now students that try to work in such a format, they get much more options, because generative models can get knowledge from physics, from chemistry, from math, and from other areas of knowledge. The ones that the student couldn't use in the past because, for example, they stopped learning chemistry at school and never got back to this anymore. But when the chemistry knowledge is needed, a student can get it with the help of generative algorithm, and later it can be used for some particular purpose in the project. That's how they can get an MVP or a prototype of what they would like to do and to make. Well, technologies are developing, and 2 years ago we couldn't do something that I'm talking about today, but now we are already able to make some prototypes and MVPs. Well, on the one hand, they're not really well integrated into a big IT system, as the big companies say, but in a couple of years it might be that they'll be very integratable in such systems. And so those projects could also become the showcase projects for some exhibitions, and we organize such events both at the High School of Economy and in other institutions as well. So this wouldn't be possible without the use of those generative algorithms. Thank you.
And now I would like to give the floor to Polina Sotnikova. She is our student at the High School of Economics School of Design. And her project works thanks to the AI, and she will give you a better idea what it's all about. So, good afternoon. So, yes, I'm the 4th year student, and my project wouldn't be possible without using artificial intelligence. And in my presentation, I would like to follow up on the previous speaker, but at the same time, I would like to talk more about details. And I would like to say more about my project. So WoW is the musical service to transform your mood. And first of all, I would like to say that, in fact, the idea wouldn't be possible without artificial intelligence. The biggest problem for me was to find the initial concept. So you probably know your strong and weak points, and my weak point is to come up with the concept. I am ready to develop something, but first I need an idea. So it's just a mixture of dozens of different ideas that ChatGPT gave me. So in the very beginning we realized, and it was mentioned by statistics from musical applications and our respondents and other sources, that one of the most popular reasons why people listen to music is to improve their spirit, their mood, to distress, and to find a better emotional state. And the point is that current musical services are not very good with that, and which is frustrating, and that's why we had to create a service that would analyze the emotional state of a user and then suggest some musical content to change or to improve this mood. So how it works? So first you can click the button, create a playlist. You can mention your goal, like I would like to change my current mood, or I would like to get off the stress, or I would like to create a special atmosphere. Next, we decided to use a Lucia test, and the test is about the following. You choose different colors one by one, and with these colors one can be interpreted in terms of what kind of mood they have, and then this information can be used later on. So first we tell the application what music you would like to listen to. Maybe it can be familiar music, unknown music, a mixture, or a random music. So then we choose the service with which we will build our playlist, and here it is. The application is under development right now. That's why I had to test it. I had to test the concept itself. That's why I have built an MVP, and this is the Telegram bot, this Lucia test. So you choose different colors. So then these colors are being interpreted by the bot, and then you can actually start building your playlist. I'm using ChatGPT version 4, so we send a request to the ChatGPT via API, and then next, writing the Telegram, you can actually get a recommendation on music. You can get your playlist. So what else? I think most people in creative industries are familiar with this fear, a fear of a white sheet, empty sheet. When you start working on a project, you realize that you will have to deal with a lot of tasks, and you have to start with something. And you have just an empty document in Figma, or you have just a note in the Apple Notes, and you are frustrated, and you are demotivated because you don't understand how to start the process, how to kick off the project. You have so many ideas and thoughts how to start, but then you just get stuck. I like the metaphor that my professor Vadim uses, that sometimes people put very small pillows underneath the aircraft's chassis, so it's a very tiny object, but it actually doesn't allow the aircraft to move. So if you just remove that fear, you will realize how many things you can do, how many things you can implement, and you will not be frustrated by things that you can create something. So first, you need to start, and it's very difficult to do it. And I think that many people are aware of this fear. So it can be anything like texts or posts in social media. It can be first few lines of code. When I have such problems, I can call an AI. It will not give me a solution right away, and most probably I will redo everything and I will reinvent it, I will rectify it, but it will give me a boost. And with this answer, with this reply, I can actually start working. So yes, at some moment in time we were discussing in my university such things, and the quotation goes, the system is ideal if you have an idea but it's not implemented yet. And I can tell you that there are no perfect ideal systems. Yes, it's absolutely clear, and I knew how to make this Lucia task, how to make this ChatGPT integration, but I absolutely had no idea how to build a system with which your mood will be interpreted correctly, and then the system will somehow recommend your playlist. So technically, I had no idea how to do it. And what's happening in our case? So this part actually doesn't exist. It's just a prompt to the AI algorithm, and at the same time it might seem weird, but the feedback is that the chatbot magically identifies my mood and give me good recommendations. Of course, I can use it for advertising, but there is no magic. It's just artificial intelligence. So basically, we know in creative industry that every second matters. And we speak a lot about a world that is speeding up, and it's very clear and visible in our university high school of economics. We have 4 modules, 4 sessions, and you need to do a lot for each of these sessions. And I noticed that the quality and the speed of my work are getting better when I started to use some AI models to generate images or to generate text. We realize that all these routine tasks, such as writing a text or a post for our social media about our products, because promotion is quite important for us, you understand, can be streamlined. Because I write one post and then I can use these rubrics for ChatGPT to generate the rest of the text, and then I can just edit them. And to wrap up, I wanted to say that it is critically important to realize the possibilities for scaling and for reliability. We know that the market is being developed so fast and needs are changing so quickly. I will give you a few examples how AI helped me, and maybe it will help me in the future, so I can finish this project, so I can make it viable and scalable. So at the end of the year, we had a few interviews. So I just gave a person my bot, and then this person gives me feedback and says what they like, what they don't like, what's convenient, what's not convenient. At the end of the day, I have a spreadsheet where I can compare what can be done to improve my bot in the next version. And I really understand that the result that I have right now in this bot wouldn't be possible if I didn't use AI. So I know how to write them, I know how to build them, but at the same time it was 4 times faster, and I could switch to other more creative tasks or more complicated lines of code. Secondly, we can adapt it to other areas of our day-to-day life. I like to listen to music. We see new artists, new albums, new tracks. Every day we have something new in the music industry. The model I'm using right now is ChatGPT version 4, and this is the model with internet access. I don't have to do anything to update my music database. So it cannot happen that a new artist appears and I say like, well, yeah, that's great, I'm listening to him every day, and I would like to add this artist to my bot, but I don't need to do it because the chat GPT has access to the internet. It will do it automatically, and other AI models help me in other cases when I'm time restricted and I can introduce some changes into the code or something like that, and I can use it for marketing as well. And that's it. I would like to say thank you for your attention. Thank you. So now I would like to speak a little bit about the process, how AI is being integrated into the creative industry, because we are in the very interesting point in time. I will show you that image. This is the rendering of a so-called double coherent method. It is also called double diamond. It is a logic described by the British Council Counseling on Design, and with observation we can identify how different specialists deal the same tasks. So it's not an invented methodology, it's just an observation, and then we can visualize it. So we have a problem, we have a solution as the outcome, and to reach that solution you need to go through 4 stages. And given the success of these stages, we go through them, and this methodology can be used to track how we reach that solution. So first we have a problem, we are trying to come up with the range of new solutions of that problem. What can be done to fix the problem? And we expand, we scale up. You see how it's happening. We generate a lot of different options or ideas what can be done. Out of these ideas and options, so we go narrower and we pick just one solution, and we are looking for the ways how to do it. So we know what to do, we know how to do it, and after testing several options, we can choose the final way to deal with this problem. And it is interesting because all this previous technological progress, since the moment a human took a stick from the ground, inside this model, the improvement happened only during the implementation stage. So we just learn and learn, but we're not getting any better. Like, for example, we have photographs, and that's why we don't need to make any sketches. So that's the final outcome. At the same time, the ability to invent something didn't change globally. If we take the humankind, our entire population, there will be no big difference. So some people can do more than others, some people can do less, are capable of less, but globally it's still a very limited resource. You cannot create more ideas than your brain is capable of. And for the first time, we are in the situation that we have a mechanism that at this stage of a divergent stage do something and substitute a human being. There are different studies on this stage, recent studies, and in general all these experiments show that yes, in average, an AI model can deal better with such type of tasks, better than an average person, sometimes even better. These are cases from creative industries. Of course, if we take a bigger market, there will be other statistics. But anyway, if we take the entire creative industry, I think that the machine can do some tasks better. So if we want to create more ideas, new projects, and if we need more time, we realize that we just need more hardware that will do this job. And in this schema, you see, so the people, I mean humans, will stay on their places. But now we have two moments where we can integrate artificial intelligence, where we can actually impact the productivity. And the productivity increases drastically because we take these steps, we get some help, and we can streamline the process and speed up the process. At the same time, you have to understand that we are not trying to replace people, humans, with the AI. People will stay, and the common sense say that globally artificial intelligence in the so if you don't know how to use AI properly, it will not help you. It will only help you if you're an expert. If you have decent background and knowledge and skills, only in that case AI will really help you and increase your productivity. And next, we need to understand that AI is being developed, but also we need to say how we interact with the AI. So in general, we can identify three main categories of cooperation or interaction, augmentation, when we improve our indicators. For example, we are okay with ideas, we have some expertise, but the AI will give us 10 ideas in 10 seconds, not in 10 hours. Or we can draw a picture. So yes, AI can help us with drawing, but only if we understand what we need and if we need relevant skills. So AI can help us with that. Now, this direction is the most hot, I would say, in terms of development and studies. So most of organizations are dealing with the augmentation, but another thing is automation, when we just delegate some things to AI, and AI just performs and executes everything on its own. And it's very similar to how the technical progress looked like previously. So some tasks can be delegated to AI, and another thing is cooperation. It is when a human interacts with AI, not to get some results from AI, but or to get work done, but to get a new set of, let's say, impressions or ideas or thoughts that will help this person to deal with the task. So imagine you come to an AI, you talked to it about literature, and then you composed a musical piece, because a discussion about literature helped you to create a musical piece. And such cases are getting more and more numerous, because AI works as a very powerful encyclopedia or a library that knows a lot about different things, and this is actually this is how you can close some gaps in your knowledge and get better results in completely different areas. So now, for example, for spring 2024, AI is not very good with the 3D modeling, but There are people who work with 3D modeling, and they can just go to AI and ask something about 3D modeling and improve their work or improve their skills. And this is how it works. And we need to pay special attention to that, because this is what I started with. It helps us to close problems with the shortage of human resources. We can get better results even if we don't have enough people. So the main problem is that these locations that we're talking about are a part of something bigger. People in Tatarstan compete in the entire cultural industry. So there are Russian-speaking Tatars and Tatar-speaking Tatars, and they can be different, they can live in different locations. So locally we have a shortage in human resources, but there is a very strong competition, and we need to streamline it.
If we talk about the creative industries as they are, well, it's not only for creative tasks. Of course, it's very nice when we create some content or text, but actually we have three more blocks, big blocks in this respect: management, economics, and education. Well, we've talked about management a little bit. We won't touch upon economics today because, well, the AI can actually influence economics quite a lot, but it's a huge topic and we won't discuss this that much. Management. Well, in general, management of creative industries can be improved. Professionals who can manage creative industries are quite few in the world, you know, because it's difficult to manage. And so some processes may have become automated, and we sometimes understand how to create a movie, an audio file, etc. And then comes AI, and actually it disrupts the production chains. And one of the current problems is that the methods to manage people who create creative works with the use of AI is not clear. I mean, it's not clear how processes change, how the speed of different stages change. Sometimes some process in the past could take about a month. Now the same process can take about a couple of minutes. For example, when we need to work with a video, for example, and we need to do the photo script for a video. In the past, it took an immense amount of time, but now, with the help of AI, this task can take us only about a couple of hours. So the professional who can do this photo script, their life has changed a lot. So we don't really know what is happening, because, for example, some people learned how to control all of this, and now the situation has changed and they're panicking. At the same time, it would be quite stupid to do everything the old way, because if there are some new tools and they can save us a lot of time and money, of course they're worth using. But people are afraid of this. And so this is a challenge in our field. For some people, it could be a nice point of growth, because, well, once something got disrupted, a lot of things have changed. A lot of people can also use it to their advantage. So, to sum up, I would like to just give you the links, or better say QR codes, to our resources. The first link in the left refers to the course, which is called Introduction to Prompt Engineering. It's about how to work with AI in general for your creative tasks. So it's a short course, and it's for those who, for those people who are quite far from the technologies, not for engineers. For us, it's important just to promote the development of the creative industry, and we'd like to free the way for creative professionals to move forward faster and more efficiently. We also have the professional courses. It's an additional education. And you can also look for some additional materials on our resource, on our pages. So that's it from my side. Thank you. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the mic is off, but we are giving the floor to our next speaker, Issa Majid Mansour, who will share his experience. Distinguished participants to the session, dear professionals, dear representatives of the government, let peace and the God's mercy be with you. First, I would like to sincerely thank the organizers of this conference of the Kazan Forum. Thank you for granting us with this opportunity to be here in Russia and to discuss such important questions. It's a great honor for me to take part in this meeting, the platform where scientists and researchers from Russia and from other countries discuss these issues. Today, I'm among you, and I would like to share my outlook on the problems that our country faced and how we could overcome both economic and political problems, as well as the establishment of peace, order and stability in my country. I do hope that the events like we're having today will help us to establish the order and the political stability in our country and in our region. Those economic and political relations, as well as the support coming from Russia to our country, really helps our development. And we get a hope for the future not only of our country, but for the future of the whole world. This is the cooperation between you and us that helps us to address a lot of situations. And Russia has always been a friendly country for us. We cherish this support and appreciate this support coming from Russia. And this is a dialogue between our countries that we plan to preserve and to develop between Libya and Russia. So we also welcome the input coming from Russia to our development. We are very grateful to the Russian government as well as to the Russian people. Thank you for this positive influence that you are showing in the region. I hope that this cooperation will only be enforced and continued in different spheres. The development of the contemporary technologies that is being discussed today is also very important. We are living in the contemporary world where there are a lot of rapid changes happening in the politics as well as the world economy. What we need is to serve for and promote economic development for everybody. And today, dear participants to this conference, we'd like to thank you for your work, for the benefit that you bring for facing the contemporary challenges. And thank you for not making any division between different countries and the representatives of different states. We are living in the contemporary world, and the enforcing of such ties is very important for our world today. Investment and the development of the contemporary technologies and your experience here is needed. We can't go away from this. The contemporary technologies that help to educate the youth, the contemporary students, it also helps us to preserve the contemporary youth, because the youth is the future of the humanity. The modern achievements would not be possible without your input. We are very thankful for this. Educational process is very important for building the mindset of our youth. Over the history, we've seen that the cooperation between our countries has been fruitful. There is an economic potential. And of course, our bilateral international cooperation that helps us to overcome the current challenges and enforce the dialogue between our countries. Let the God be with you. Thank you very much, dear Issa Majid Mansour. So we've already listened to all the presentations that were planned for today, and now it's time for your questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hands, and if you don't have any questions, then we will conclude our session for today. And if there are no questions, then I'd like to thank you for your attention. I'd like to thank the speakers for their presentations, and separately I'd like to thank His Excellency Mr. Issa Majid Mansour. Thank you.